Hello, everyone. My name is Tim B. Green, and this is Crush It Club, episode 67, Habit Horse Pucky. I decided to call this out because I've read a lot of books on the science of forming habits. And unless you're talking, it seems there's obviously two extreme categories that would be like addiction and breaking habits, or self-improvement, self-development, and forming positive habits. What I haven't seen, even in books by authors that I really admire, the ones that I respect the most, I have never seen an acknowledgement in the books where habits good ever talking about how, let's be honest, habits never become effortless. So in my experience, this is exactly the truth. Habits never become effortless. Am I a freak of nature on that? I doubt it. Maybe I'm the only person on earth who finds it's still always takes effort to maintain good habits, healthy habits, but I doubt it. So they don't become effortless, but they do become more or less established, right? So it's a trajectory and the amount of willpower, the amount of effort to maintain the habit. But really, as I've already acknowledged, habits are either easy to establish and maintain, that is hard to extinguish. Now, extinguish means get rid of, right? You extinguish or get rid of a fire. So it's a psychological term about extinguishing behaviors is to reduce the frequency, probability, or existence of a behavior. That's extinguishing a behavior. But those habits are usually bad, easy, and pleasurable. We'll go back to this in a second, but it's pretty easy to think about habits. To me, it would be like, eating old cheddar cheese and crispy bacon every day would be a habit that would be effortless for me to form and maintain if it wasn't bad for me, bad for the environment, and just generally has a lot of disadvantages. Otherwise, that habit would be easy for me to establish and maintain. And I'm mostly vegan, by the way. So on the other side, this is the kind of habits that people want to form, hard to establish, or typically hard to establish and maintain, but easy to extinguish. That is, it's easy to fall off the wagon and stay off the wagon, easy to get out of the habit and stay out of the habit. And these are usually good, healthy, and challenging ones like exercise. As I've said in a number of my videos, I have been exercising on and off for about 40 years, pretty consistently, mostly on, but sometimes as much as like 2 years off. I'm still waiting for that day when doing regular exercise becomes effortless. It's not going to happen. I either get in the momentum of it, and I always know I have the choice, right? Being lazy is not your fault. It's part of our species default based on evolution, but it is your choice and it is your responsibility. So make that choice and that responsibility. I have to exercise today. I've missed the last couple days. My bad. But that gets us to the next part of that. And that is, you can do this, but the best way to establish and maintain good habits is with two main things, and that is consistency and self-compassion with relentless commitment towards progress and action. So I'm going to elaborate on that. So consistency is obvious. That's every day for everything except maybe high intensity exercise. Low to medium intensity exercise, where it is safe to do it every day of whatever kind, going for a walk, that's fine. You can do it every day as long as it doesn't cause you injury or what do they call it? Repetitive stress injuries or anything like that. If it's higher intensity like I do, you cannot do it every day. I will be injured and then actually be laid up for longer if I try to do that. I know I've tested it on myself with my own exercises. So the advantage of high intensity is you get to do it less often, but because you're skipping a day, it's also a more fragile, harder to maintain habit. So there's a trade-off, time or easier to maintain. more time or easier to maintain. In my experience, you can't have both, unfortunately. So the next one is self-compassion. And I've borrowed this term or taken over this term from Daniel Pink's latest book, The Power of Regret. And I love it. I've been talking about forgive yourself instantly and get back on the wagon, but forgive yourself instantly is not as convenient, short, concise, and because Daniel Pink is who he is, famous, so self-compassion. So when you fall off the wagon, it's okay. You have the choice and the responsibility. You can't change the past. Get back on the wagon, get back to that habit and just go, oh, well, that happened. I'm okay. Let's move on. Forgive yourself instantly, learn from it, and get back on that wagon. And then the other part was the relentless commitment toward progress and excellence. And by progress, I mean progress for you. If you're not Usain Bolt, running the 100-meter in the time that he does is not exactly what you would call progress. You will probably never make that progress, but make progress for yourself, wherever you are, for the top edge of your skill within safe limits, within practical limits, but do it as hard as you can to get better, to see progress, to move up in your skill, in your level, in your speed, whatever it is, that's progress for you. Nobody else can tell you what that progress looks like, or at the very least, it is specific to you because everybody's an individual. So make progress that is progress for you and strive for excellence that is excellence for you. Excellence isn't, I did pretty good today, that was easy. That isn't excellence or progress. If it was easy, it isn't progress and it isn't excellence because you were obviously not like, that was hard. I did it. I feel really good. It's the best I've ever done. Or it was at the top edge of my capability for today, this moment, this period in time. That's what progress and excellence looks like. It's going for the top edge of your ability, not the lazy one push-up, floss one tooth crap. So speaking of habits, it's International Women's Day. So happy International Women's Day. I don't know if there's an official phrase for that. I noticed it on Google Doodles because, you know, I mostly stay at home. It's still COVID going on. But I thought this was a good and appropriate time to do something acknowledging International Women's Day. So for those of you, let's think of this as a habit. For those of you in the habit of making, assembling teams to solve problems, to make solutions, to make companies, think of this. And this is from the book Scaling Up Excellence, probably the best business book ever written. I'm listening to it for the third time in about 5 years. And it says, on average, groups with more women in them have higher collective intelligence, are more cooperative, and produce better results compared to groups with fewer women. Okay, this is paraphrased, but you get the idea. So if you're interested in getting better results, whether you're a man or a woman, consider that. That's what the data is telling us. More women on your team, higher collective intelligence, better results. If you're into results, put more women on your team, or at the very least, start including women if you have none, which is obviously a mistake. Okay, so what I'd like you to do for the CTA, my call to action, please leave something in the comments. Please leave comments about positive results you have seen from a team that included women, whether it was yourself or not. If you can be specific without breaking any sort of confidentiality or intellectual property or any of that, please do so. Describe how a woman or the women on the team contributed positively and what the outcome was. This has been 𝗪𝗪𝘂𝗵 episode 67, 𝗪𝗵𝘂𝘀𝗵. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.